Hello, welcome to the artclasses.com. This video is going to be a preview of a premium tutorial, the Knight of Axe. So I'll show you a beginning, like maybe 17 minutes, and some other part in the middle or in the end. So it's not going to be a full tutorial, it's just going to be a preview of what is in the tutorial. The tutorial is over an hour, maybe an hour 20 minutes or something. So I use Photoshop CS3, CS5, anywhere with CS is fine, and a Wacom tablet. If you have any question, post on the comment below. And I think I released this premium tutorial a while ago, but if any of you who has this one and want it, you can also click on the link under the description, and there's a link to it, or click on the icon on the right top right corner and you'll find the link to the tutorial, so you can go and download it. Also, if you want to take some private lesson and workshop, or mentorship with me, there's a link also on the top right corner. Alright, well, enjoy the partial tutorial preview. You might be able to learn something a little bit here and there, but if you want a full version of the tutorial, then you can download it via the link. Oh, and also I will probably upload a free video tutorial in the short one in a couple of days or something. Alright, have fun, bye bye. That's the snowy pack in the snow. Then I make another layer on top, and I'm just creating a silhouette of a dude. It's like a big burly dude guy, melee dude, riding the horse. So I just kind of have him in the position of riding the horse. So I would recommend, if you're not used to painting this guy on the horse, I paint in the past video, I paint dude on the horse all the time. So I'm getting pretty used to it, that how they're positioning themselves and how their leg positioning. If you don't really know where or how they sit in a horse, just Google, guy riding horse or something. You'll find some dude with a horse. And then on his value, he has a little bit more bluish, so I'm changing the saturation hue and brightness to a little bit more brown because I want the horse, but I paint about 50% on top of him to get the palette color. And now I get the color, which is a bit more brown. Then I'm probably gonna mix this brown up with, I pick the color from the guy and mix it up a little bit so it's kind of blend in, especially in the shadow. I mix it up with the kind of warmer hue, and then the horse skin color will be a little bit more brown. Then I kind of mix it up so that it doesn't look like two separated weird color thingy. So now I'm adding more brown to the horse, and it doesn't look like the horse yet, but it will. Then I'm just trying to separate the light and shadow. So the lighting is coming from the top right hand side of the frame, and now I'm just like scribbly and trying to make the leg position and look like the horse is walking, and trying to get the torso and the neck. The most important thing for the horse is like the position of the leg, the neck, then the torso. You gotta have it proportionally look right. A horse is one of the hardest thing to paint, because we all know what they should look like, and they are pretty majestic. They look pretty awesome, and they have they're pretty ripped, good muscle tone and all that. Then the back leg of the horse. So I'm just establishing the shape so that I can later go in and adding more stuff to it. So I'm adding a little bit bigger snout so it looks like a horse right there, and bigger neck, more chest area so it look like he's big and strong, and then some tail right there. Alright, so we got the dude on the horse separate. They both on separate layers, so if you want to change something, move it up or down, you have a chance opportunity to do that. Then flip the canvas. What am I doing here? Just trying to get the coat or the oh, I'm adding the fox head. Basically, the fox head here, I'm trying to make it a metal fox head because I'm like inspired by Game of Thrones again, the Stark. So this guy is basically inspired by the Knight of Stark or something, the North Knight. So I'm adding the wolf, not fox, sorry, wolf head, and it's going to be metal. But right now it doesn't look like metal, and when I'm doing a speed painting, which is in 30 minutes, it's going to be hard. So, and I'm doing this one. I started this one off as a speed painting to post in the Facebook group, speed paint. But in the end, I added a little bit more hours and finish it as and change it to the Knight of Axe. So that's part of the armor. I have like a little bit, you know, kind of a sigil, not sigil, but part of the breastplate, like a metal wolf head. Then I'm adding another layer underneath that, using the texture brush to create some kind of a fur, like a dark fur. If you look at, you ever seen Game of Thrones, like most of the Night Watch, they wear like, you know, really dark fur. So I kind of got inspired by that costume a little bit, like dark fur cape to keep you warm because you're in snow. So there, the cape coming down behind it to the back of the dude. And then usually at this point I will zoom out a lot just to get the idea, the silhouette and the shape of everything. I'm not concerning about the detail at this point. At this point I'm concerned about shape and form. How am I going to get shape and form and the big part of the big form of the whole thing. So now I'm adding the shape of the helmet, and you have to be able to tell whether which plane is facing which way, and you have to set a certain value for each plane. So right now I'm doing the plane that's facing front, and it's going to be a little darker since the lighting come from the side. And this part, since I flip, the lighting come from the left hand side top, and then on the side of the helmet you're going to see the highlight, and that's where the lighting direction came from. So if you look at the whole helmet, imagine a ball, and that's the hot spots over there, so that's where the light came from. And then again, I'm putting a highlight on the wolf head a little bit, so it's kind of like the same spot since it has that kind of sphere shape. Then I'm adding some shadow on inside the helmet along the visor. Then on the side of the face that have the metal facing up on the edge of it, that's the light's gonna hit there too, so I'm creating that line over there. Then he's gonna be he's gonna have some long beard. I decided to take a highlight out on the wolf because it's a little too much at this point. It could be confusing if you add highlight on 2 minute spot too soon. Just kind of try to tone it down quite a bit. And then I'm adding this blade on the shoulder, which I changed it later because I didn't really like it, the design, and I have the fur cover it instead. And now I'm making another layer and make the rod for the axe, the big axe. So he's carrying it with both hands, and the axe like facing up right there. And in the beginning I have like 2 blades on both sides, front and back, but in the end it's a little bit too obvious that my perspective is wrong, so I change it to one side instead. It's kind of hard to make things in perspective look symmetrical, unless you're making a lasso tool, make it a front panel, and then using the lasso tool and modifier to give it correct perspective. But I wasn't thinking about it at this point, so I'm just kind of freehand painted, which is, I mean, it's fun, but sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want, and you have to go in and correct perspective, and that's going to take you quite a long time. So now I'm making the axe and another, the rod kind of sticking really long handle. Then making some contour line to give it a suggestion of where the forearms are, like on the side. On the other side, give it one contour line that's going to the z-axis, and then on the one on the left of the screen, I give it of the foreshortening area. Now I'm adding some cloth along the side of the skirt, and now I'm adding some cloth onto the torso, which later I turn into metal. But because I within the first 30 minutes I try to lay out everything and not consider or not concerning about the material yet, just trying to add a good shape and good form and see what I can do with it. And then I'm just going to pick a really light color, almost light, and then I'm going to desaturate because it looked a bit blue. The reason I'm doing these, I'm doing 70% opacity, and I'm trying to finding separating the light and the shadow, and I don't want him to wear black anymore because it's all going to be armored, so it's going to be metal. So now I'm just setting up the light for the metal part. So part of his body that get hit by the light will get lit at this point using overlay, and then part of his torso gonna get some light a little bit. And now it's pretty light, and then I'm toning down the opacity on the layer a little bit to maybe 60 something, and just kind of adjust and see if that's good enough. Is that gonna be too light or is that gonna be too dark? Then kind of erase some of it. So now light and dark, and try to compare. And I guess I'm just gonna go with this. I'm lightening up his beard a little bit and lightening up his little bit his black fur. So and then I'm lightening up the side of the horse also because it's along the side that hit the light. So you should give it more light on that part. So I'm just giving this character a bit more contrast because in the beginning it was a bit too not contrast. Just kind of play, and the value are too close together. It's good for speed painting, but not in detail, and you want to give it light. So I just want to overlay down to about 80 something. That's good enough. And I check it's 34, and the dark is 68. So the brightness or the value is not that far apart. So I think it's good enough at this point. Always check your value. If your value range is way too far apart, then your image might be weird, especially if it's in the scene. If the character alone is fine. If it's in the scene, then you're going to have to leave some room for the other part of the environment to have a certain value range for it to go. So in this one, it's going to have about 30 to 40 on the character value range, probably 30. Now I'm just comparing again, and then going to move it down to 75, I think. Then I'm just gonna merge it down. Why not? Let's do this. And make a copy just in case I screwed up, and make a layer on top of it. So now we're gonna focus on making this material look like a pretty cool metal. So I'm just gonna switch my brush to normal. I'm laying down the plane so that ridge in between on the side of his helmet will be light, the other side will be dark since it's hidden in the shadow. On metal it works well, and it makes the metal look shiny, like it's been polished a little bit. It's a secret. Then if you want to add some fine detail and design, just paint something on top of it, like what I do with the helmet right now. Add some fine detail, just a little bit of sample, but usually you have to like zoom in and add a little bit more detail. And at this point, if I want to add a little bit more, what I would do, I would just zoom in and clean up, adding more design to it, but the value will not change. What will change is just certain shape, a little bit more detail we find, add more texture onto the certain place. But as far as this goes, this is pretty much it. And thank you guys for the support of the premium tutorial. I'm adding a little bit of highlight to some spot. So yep, this is the end of it, and you get the Photoshop file into the folder also. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. It's like I've been talking way too much, and now I'm just like at the point in the end. It's like what? Anyways, so yep, this is it. As you're gonna see this dude, and that's pretty much the tutorial. Okay, well, good luck, and I'll have more free video on YouTube, and talk to you guys soon. Or yeah, just talk to me on, you know, YouTube, comment it or something, or stuff, whatever. Bye.